Hello, my name is Mariana, and this is a reading for Capricorn. So Capricorn, I'm doing your reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. Um, okay, so Capricorn, I really enjoy this message that is coming through here because it's talking about you learning your own limits and you establishing your boundaries in a very firm way, but also in a very kind way, because it doesn't mean that you will stop your giving, generous nature. So it's almost like you are thinking how much you can give to others without losing yourself, but also without losing whatever nurtures you, right? So there's something else really interesting appearing here in your reading. I'm going to get there, but it's like this: seeing from another perspective, seeing from another angle makes you see yourself now in a way that is no longer sacrificing whatever is important to you, whatever is bringing yourself some necessary structure so that you can find, so that you can just live your life without, falling apart, essentially, without being depleted or without constantly needing to refresh and re-energize because others have taken too much of your energy, of your love, of your generous spirit. And this is really creating a shield of generosity, right? It's like you are learning how much you can give without being, in detriment about it or because of it. So, let's see, this first card is talking about your generosity. This is the word that came through with the Three of Cups. So opening up with a beautiful giving energy. And I feel like, as I said, it's like before you get to the point where you're learning about boundaries, and this is what is coming right after it with the Four of Pentacles. Yes, this is the card of limits and boundaries and establishing a clear line, right? So it's almost like this is the furthest that you can go. This is your own limit, but it doesn't affect your generosity, right? It's like you are still going to give what you have, going to give love and attention and care and maybe something physical, maybe money, maybe lending something, but it's like it's not giving away too much or giving too much of yourself or of your time, of your presence. So, or it's like learning to open up or to give in a way that you still have enough for yourself, right? With the Five of Cups. So usually this five, well, to me specifically here, is talking about individuality of self, right? So yourself. It's like you know that you have a little bit that you can offer others, within the limits that you can. It's not that you have, a lot of surplus or you have plenty that you can just share and give freely. It's like you have just a little bit enough, that you take care of yourself first, and what is extra, but within those boundaries, it's like, oh, here it is. It's almost like, you have baked a cake, but you have, done enough for you, and you can give away, a third of it, right? Because the resting part, the rest of it is like, it's enough for you. So it's not that you're going to make one other cake to give to this person. It's just a very simple, ordinary example, right? It's like, you're not going out of your way. That's the thing also with the Four of Pentacles. It's like, within your territory, within your domain, what your arms can reach, right? It's like, this is the farther that you can go. It's like, this is your own boundary for yourself. And I want to say, it's more for yourself, Capricorn, than for others. I'm not seeing necessarily with the Three of Cups, you know, taking energy, you know, people that are interested in your generous spirit and that, you know, that are exploiting that. It's like, it's not that. It's like, it's just you reminding yourself that first you have to give for yourself, and then if you have enough for yourself, and you know that you can afford extending some of that to others, or you can lend something to others, or you can give a little bit of your love and time and attention to others, right? Because you are fulfilled, you are nourished, right? You don't need any more of whatever, right, that you have extra. So it's like you are learning also. It's not necessarily that you are drawing the line, right? Because I don't feel like there is nobody like stepping in, you know, and crossing the boundary, you know, unasked for, right? Or unannounced. It's like, whenever there is a situation where you would, you know, usually give more than you have, it's like you are learning that there is this that there is this line to draw, there is this boundary to stick to, right? And this is something that it's occurring because you are looking at yourself first, that you are, you know, making way for yourself first. It's like you are giving yourself whatever it is that you need first, and then you're giving others, and then you are you know, it's like being generous to self and then being generous to others. This is essentially what this is. So after you are generous with yourself, right, it's like, this is the first step. But this only occurs because of this. And it's very, very interesting because I've never seen the Hangman reversed before. And I feel like it has to do with an image that, you know, it took me a little time to figure this one out, actually, because what I was seeing here was a drop of water, but reversed, right? So instead of the drop of water falling down, you know, because of gravity, it was floating. It's almost like there is something sucking the water up, right? So this is, yes, a metaphor for like a different perspective, you know, a way of seeing things that is upside down essentially. But there's also like this new force, this new pull, this new gravity that is upside down, right? But so the image that I was talking about that took me a while to see was, instead of a drop of water being sucked because, you know, there is another force of nature that is pulling it up, I saw it as a balloon, right? You know, I don't know if this is common where you live, but you know, in parks and, you know, open spaces, especially where there are families and kids, you know, there are a few balloons, right? And, you know, with the string. So this is what I was seeing with this, the Hangman upside down. So Capricorn, what I was talking about, like, when you give for yourself first, when you give the generosity to self, right? When you think of your own needs first, you are not sacrificing anything. It's almost like you are holding the string of something that could have been lost, right? Or, you know, could have been given away without thinking about yourself and what you need at that time, right? And so it's like there's something that you're holding, and it's inverting the logic of things, or inverting the laws of physics or the laws of gravity, right? It's like you're switching the density of the water for the lightness of air, and that is so amazing. I just love that phrase. You're switching the density of water for the lightness of air, but still you're holding it. It's like holding it, meaning you're holding on to what could have been a sacrifice, right? It's like you're not sacrificing. That's what this is talking about. And the beautiful thing is that because you're looking at yourself first, right? It's like, and it's not also that it's affecting completely your generosity. It's not that now you're going to be this, selfish person who doesn't help anyone, or who doesn't give anything to anyone. I feel like that is pretty much still there. It's just that you're not over giving, right? So you're not sacrificing what could have been something that if you gave everything, it could have been something really awful. I'm saying, like, it's like if you did sacrifice yourself, right, in order to help somebody, or in order to maybe just extend your generosity to the point that you're forgetting about yourself, right? It's like you would replace this Three of Cups for the Three of Air with the Three of Swords. But that ties in the phrase that I just mentioned, switching and replacing the density of the water for the lightness of air. But it's almost like, because you're not sacrificing self, you are a little bit, sacrificing how much you would have given, normally, to the same people that maybe these people are seeing how different you are, or just, noticing that you're not giving as much as you would have in the past. And maybe for them this is an unusual or heartbreaking, or it's not a comfortable situation. But that's the thing. It's like you're replacing the potential heartbreak, or the potential, I want to say, misunderstanding from these people, right? That maybe you would always help, or help frequently, to the point that they are accustomed to how much you give, and suddenly you're just not giving as much, just because you are seeing yourself first, right? You are protecting yourself first. You are holding a little bit of that, it's coming through now, when divers have the oxygen on their back, right? It's almost like that. It's like, this is your oxygen. So it's like you're holding on to that. It's like you're holding a little bit of oxygen for yourself, right? Instead of giving it all away, right? And this could be seen by others, not by you, I want to say, because you were the one who is, replacing the misunderstanding, or, it's like how this change in your action could be perceived by those who you help, right? Frequently, I want to say. It's like, and it doesn't need to be like with money or anything like that. It could be like, and it doesn't need to be like helping also. It's just like, making everything for them, or, whenever they call, you are just answering. And it's like there was no boundary, essentially. There were no limits. And so now that there is, it's almost like they're not recognizing you anymore, right? Because you have inverted things. It's like you were able to hold on to whatever, right? Maybe we're talking about your time, essentially, or your energy, or your attention. It's like you're you're not giving it all away, right? But the way that you're seeing, it's not something that is that you know that you're not dismissing your generosity. Maybe they are, just because they're not receiving as much as before, but you know that that is for the purpose of not sacrificing yourself, because it's almost like now they are feeling how you would feel when you gave everything that you had. Does that make sense? It's like, because you allowed yourself to hold on to a little bit of this oxygen, right, that feeds you, that helps you survive, right, that is like meeting your own needs. It's like they are feeling how you would feel after you gave all of your time, all of your attention, all of your money, all of your love, right? So it's like, now that they don't have everything that you used to give them, it's like now they're feeling a little bit of that, of how you felt. And to you, Capricorn, I want to say it feels like, changing this dynamic between the, giving away and staying with nothing, and knowing that you are holding on to your own lightness of being, and that is self-preserving, right? Self-protection. So with these two cards, ending this first part of your reading, after the Three of Swords, the World, and the Knight of Cups. So this, okay, remember when I was talking about the first image that I saw with this hangman upside down, about this drop of water, but defying, in a sense, gravity. It's like when there is this sucking of the water, right, when there is this pull of a force that is fighting against gravity, and pulling the water in a logic or in a direction that is opposite to what has been, or to what used to be the norm, right? Or what used to be, what is the word? It's like, not ordinary, but what used to be the norm. It's just escaped my mouth. So, okay, it just wasn't important. Whenever I forget something that was, just right there, I learned from something that my grandmother used to say, although I didn't meet her, but, my parents passed on to me, that she said, if you forget something, it's because it was not important. So yeah, maybe that was important. So going back to this elevation of the drop of water, it becomes it's almost like the coding, or the structure of your new point of view, right? It's like, if you're holding on to this new perspective that is not sacrificing yourself, right? And it's like leading to you having enough for yourself, to the point that you are, it's like you are floating with the lightness of air, right? It's like you are reaching the lightness of air, because now you have enough air for yourself, right? Now you have enough air and oxygen that you have you have kept for yourself. But it's like, when you elevate to that point, it's like you can re-signify the meaning of the Three of Swords, right? That would be usually perceived as something that is very heartbreaking. So maybe this is the perception of those that you were helping, but I don't want to say that there is a lot of it's not that they are disappointed on you, or thinking that maybe you deceived them, or whatever it is. It's just that it's something unexpected, right? So you are defining a new, it's almost like a new molecular structure for yourself, because you have inverted this process, right? If you used to sacrifice yourself a lot, right? And you used to feel depleted afterwards, and that was how your world was shaped. It's like, because now you have, you know, turned that upside down, and now you're sticking to it. You're sticking to the boundary that you're no longer sacrificing yourself to the point that you're, you know, going to feel depleted afterwards. It's like, this is the new it's like the new gene, the new coding, the new formula that is shaping how your world is established. And this, it's like, okay, so the Knight of Cups coming next is like, after you are reshaping your world, but mainly your world view, right? And how you are looking at yourself with a lot more attention. It's like you are giving for yourself, right? It's like you are giving love for yourself. It's like, this is self-love. This is self-care. This is self-awareness, but also being protective about it. Being, it's like taking care of yourself to the point that you are never going to feel depleted again. It's like you have, with this inversion, it's like you have, established a very clear new structure, right? Because you have elevated your mind, maybe your spirit. It's like yourself to the point that gravity as it was, meaning the way that things were, it's like they will no longer be effective on you, right? It's like they're no longer shaping your world. It's like now you have elevated to the point that this drop of water has its own molecular structure, right? That is, it's like building some sort of a shield, right? It's like your own self-love shield. So before you want to give, because I feel like this is not going to stop, it's just that it's going to change, because, you know, the object of the subject of who you're giving to, it's like it's going to turn, you know, instead of outward, it's now going to turn inward. So it's like you know that first you have to give for yourself, and then when you are protected enough, when you are fulfilled enough, when you are, you know, refilled with love, it's like now it's the moment where you know that this worldview will not be touched, will not be changed, because you know that you have enough. So you can give as little or as much as you have, right? That is beautiful. I feel like that is very clear, Capricorn. So congratulations to you. I'm going to pull more cards for you, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological rooms in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be happy to see you. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.